So today I'm going to show you my entire funnel for my 7-figure per year SEO business. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the first part of this entire funnel that you need to understand is the personal brand. Okay, and so I highly recommend, no matter the type of business that you have, try to find some sort of figurehead / subject matter expert in your business who can become the person who creates content in the business. And fortunately, I just started doing this when I first started my business in 2013. I just, because I had no choice, I was all by myself. I would just create content. I started blogging. Then eventually I went on YouTube in 2017. Then I went on to LinkedIn and did email marketing and did all this stuff. And it's just kind of stayed that way. And it's been a big piece of the success of my businesses that I've worked on. And the personal brand is kind of at the center of all of this. Now, you could certainly go the non-branded route. You go the faceless type of company. There's plenty of examples of success that has occurred in that way, but it's definitely easier out of the gate if you pick a person because people buy from people. So it's just going to be much easier. So that's the first thing I recommend is find that subject matter expert who can actually create content for you, or at least help you fact check some of that content and make it have those deeper level nuances. Okay. So that's part one. Part two, I'm going to focus on just YouTube today. So we got other channels that I do have expertise in, and I certainly can share a lot with you in upcoming videos, but I'll just tell you kind of like my core channels that I use to grow any business online. Number one is SEO. No shocker here. I'm a big fan of SEO. I've been doing SEO full time since 2013. It's an obsession. Let's just say that much. Okay. But I don't believe it's the only channel you should do. It's one channel among many that you should be focusing on, especially now with the way the SERPs are and the way Google has changed. You don't want to just put all your eggs in the Google basket, at least on the organic side. Okay. So, but it's still one of my favorites. So SEO is one of my favorites. My second, honestly, it's kind of competing for first, is YouTube. And YouTube, hands down, is one of the best marketing channels online. I mean, I can't stress this enough. It is so powerful because you get an opportunity for people to know, like, and trust you at lightning speed. We're talking lightning speed. They can watch one video and immediately become a lead or a customer. So I cannot stress it. There's no other platform that can do this at this speed. And just to give you some perspective though, I'll show you my YouTube channel. And here's some of the data in my channel. Okay. And I've got a boring SEO channel. So, there's other channels that get way more views than I do, but we'll go ahead and look at this and look at, just 2025. This year, I've generated almost 400,000 views. Okay. So it's a lot of views, but keep in mind, only a very small percentage of those views translate into leads and customers. And truthfully, between YouTube and all of these other platforms that I use, YouTube, SEO, email, and organic LinkedIn and X, and then a little bit of advertising, I'm generating like thousands of leads every single month and hundreds of new customers. Okay, so this certainly works. Okay, and I just want to make that abundantly clear. 95% of what I do is organic. Okay, so, and not to say I don't have anything against ads, but I'm just saying organic is the key here. But to make organic work, you really have to focus on many channels. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's focus on the YouTube side, and I want to show you kind of what this looks like. Okay, so at a very high level, I create content on my YouTube channel basically in two categories. Number one is for people that are coming to learn SEO. So I create content about SEO, and the people that I attract, the intent that they have is to get better at SEO, right? To learn how to rank in Google, to get more organic traffic, to grow their businesses with SEO. Okay, so that's like 80% of the content that I create is in that category. And the reason why that's really important is because anyone who's watching educational videos on YouTube, that is their intent. They're there to learn. They're there to develop a skill. They're there to get better results with that skill. And so if you take someone who has that learner intent, the best and most logical offer that you should give them is some sort of training that's going to take them to a deeper level. Okay. And that's exactly what I do. So I promote my training program, Gotcha SEO Academy, in my videos. And there's nothing super crazy about this. This is super simple. We take one video, and I'll show you kind of what this looks like on the back end. You'll see like this video here. We'll just go ahead and look at it. And you'll see all that I do is we go here And you'll see right here, I've got a little link right here. Hey, learn my AI SEO systems. Boom, they click on this link. They get taken to a dedicated landing page. And this talks about the program itself, right? Got all the details of the program that they can learn more about. And then the idea is they click on this and they go and apply. Okay. It is literally that simple. And I truly believe that YouTube is the only platform where you can do this. I think other platforms, you have to have maybe a few more layers. Like you need to have a lead magnet and then maybe a front end offer and do all that stuff. But I think on YouTube, it's a unique animal in that regard, because if you think about it, if someone watches like this video I published here, last week or a couple weeks ago, it's a 47-minute video. Like it's a really long, it's almost as long as an episode of Breaking Bad, right? Like it's really, really long. And so you think about it, if someone makes it all the way through a 47-minute video, there's a very good chance that you've at least built some levels of trust with them. And in that regard, do they really need, some little front end offer? Maybe in some cases, but more than likely you can directly go for a main offer that's going to help them go to the next level. So this is the way that my funnel's set up is, I create these videos. If it's specifically about YouTube, I promote a deeper level SEO training program. And then from there, they can apply. Then a portion of those applications make it to a call. So about 40% make it to a call. Then from there, one of my team members, it's either going to be Amber, Simon, or me, if they're on vacation, will just get on that phone call, right? And then they're just seeing, this is the part that's really important. Like there's an important clarification on this. And this is all, I only know this because I've done SEO agency work and sold so many, honestly, I've sold millions of dollars of SEO services with this exact funnel. And the way you want to think about this is not like, okay, we're going from call to I immediately need to close this deal. That's not how we view it. It's this call, when they actually get on the phone call, is what's called a discovery call in the context of agency work. And the discovery call is to simply see if that person is a good fit for the program. And this is really important because if they're a good fit for the program, then the likelihood that they're going to be successful in the program is much higher. Okay. So it is actually the job of the person who's getting on that call to make sure that this person, I feel very confident that if they join this program, they are going to be much more likely to succeed than another person. Okay. And that's really important because we have to have that conviction that they're going to succeed in the program because that makes everything better, right? They come in the program, we fulfill their expectations, they get results, they're happy, we're happy, and it's a good, fair win-win for everyone, right? But what we don't want to have is like, hey, we've got hundreds of applications, we get hundreds of applications a month, and we just accept everyone. Well, that would be a huge mistake because then, first of all, close rates would drop dramatically because like right now, Amber and Simon close about 40% of the deals that come in, 40%, which is really high when you look into most sales numbers. It's really, really high, but that's because we're setting our team members up for success because they're only talking to the best fits possible, right? Not everyone's going to join, but we are talking to people that are the best fits for the program. And that bleeds into the success of our students, right? Because we're talking to the best fits, we get students who are qualified, and those students are highly motivated, they do the work, and they get the results, right? And what we get out of that is, of course, we get revenue, which then helps us, support our business, and I get to pay my team members, and we get to build a company. But most importantly, if we get results, we get reviews, and that compounds. And we've got 97, I think it's 97 reviews, 97 Google reviews. Okay. And those 97 Google reviews are not by accident. That's because we've helped so many people get results and we've set ourselves up for success. This is the same thing in agency work. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times when I first started my agency that I would just bring on any business to do SEO for them. That was a huge mistake. I was making a lot of ego-based decisions instead of thinking about it logically and saying, is this business in a good position to succeed if we take them on? And if the answer is not a definitive yes, then it's going to be one that we're just going to say no to, right? And that's what you should do if you're doing agency work is only set yourself up for success. Work with businesses that are in a good position to succeed with SEO. That is so much better because that makes everyone's life way easier. Okay. So that's what the funnel looks like. It's that simple. They get on a call. If it's a good fit, they send over a DocuSign, they sign the DocuSign. They submit their payment and they get instant access. Okay. Now here's where things start to go to the next level. Okay. So for a long time, all I promoted was just this program. Okay. Just this program. That was it. But then I started to add some layers. And so some of the layers to this is adding a front end offer. Okay. So the next thing that I built to increase the depth of this funnel and to kind of tap into what Russell Brunson calls the value ladder is I wrote a book. Okay. And so we spent about a year and a half, my partner and I, Simon, we writing this book, and we put so much time into this book. But what we wanted to have is, because like the Academy was really good as far as the SEO systems, right? Learning how to get SEO, learning how to get predictable results with SEO using systems and processes and SOPs so that it's repeatable. And that's really critical if you're an agency. You need to be able to produce consistent results. So we got that covered with the Academy, but there was like one piece missing, which is like, oh wait, well, you can know how to get results, but like, how do you actually like do the business side of agency? So what I did is I actually went and read, you can actually find this blog post here, Best SEO Books. I actually and purchased 26 SEO books. And I literally read every single one. I am not kidding. I sat down in my chair over there and I just like read every book. And to be totally honest, some of them are pretty brutal. I'm not going to lie, but some of them were good. But there was one thing that I noticed, there was one book that talked about the SEO business side of things, but that was it. There was literally no one. So I was like, this looks like a pretty cool opportunity where I can come in, write a book about this, because I have a lot of experience in it. And it would be useful to get people to build trust and get people to, if they build a successful business with my book, the likelihood they're going to join our program is quite high, right? So that was the idea in my mind. Like, if I help them be successful by reading the book, then the most logical step is they come to the program. So the way this works is like on YouTube, any video where I'm talking about, building an SEO agency, it links to the landing page for the book, right? So I promote the book. So it goes right to this landing page. And this landing page is very simple. It just gives the offer, okay? A very simple offer. It's got all, kind of your standard setup with an offer. It's got the bonuses and it's got the total value, and then you drop it down. This is all standard stuff. I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but we've sold, I think, almost 4,000 copies of the book. So it works. And we go down here. And the way that this works is I use Funnel Kit, which integrates with WordPress, just a plugin. And so they can purchase the book, and there's also a one-click upsell. So this one-click upsell is really important because it helps you recoup some of the costs from marketing. And this is super, super important. So, but after they purchase the book, the next logical step that they go into is they get a direct offer to apply for the Academy. So this is just important because, of course, only a small percentage of people will actually do that. But what you're doing are looking for what are called buyers in heat. Okay, buyers in heat just means people, like a small percentage of people who buy your stuff are ready to go, right? They're ready to go. They're ready to go to the next level. And you're presenting that offer to the people that are much more ready to go right away. Okay. And so you're doing that, and don't expect everyone to convert. It's going to be much lower, but you still want to at least set it up in a way that you can actually convert some of those people that are ready to go to the next level right away. Okay. So you can see this in the way the funnel works. They watch YouTube videos. They either are going to go straight to the Academy to apply, or they're going to go to the book first and then get an opportunity to apply for the Academy. Now, there's also a longer sales cycle here that isn't kind of emphasized, which is some people buy the book and go, a year and a half in some cases before they join the program, right? Because maybe they want to implement what's in the book. They want to get results. They want to get to a certain revenue level, and then they want to make that investment in the much deeper level program. And that makes perfect sense, right? That's totally makes sense. But that's why you want to be able to plant these seeds. You want to be able to help people at every stage that they're at. Because that's really important. And like, if you've already gone through what someone else is going through and you're not sharing that information, you're just missing out. Like, think about the experience that you have. What could you share with people? And that's like even this video I'm doing right now. I'm just sharing stuff that I've already done because I think it might help some people, right? So this is the idea. All right. So we've got these parts mapped out. Now, there's one more piece of this equation on YouTube, which is occasionally I will promote a lead magnet. Okay. So this lead magnet is just a free checklist, looks like this, very simple. And it goes to a dedicated landing page where they can submit their email to get access. Okay. Now, a high percentage, would say 95% of people who watch your content are not going to buy your stuff right away. They're not going to apply for your major, high ticket program. They're not going to go buy your book. They're not going to do any of that stuff. So what you have to do is think about, okay, if we've got like 97% of people who aren't going to go after any of the offers, what can we give them to get them on our email list, which then allows us to build more trust with them. So the idea here is you give them a free lead magnet. And the key is I've tested hundreds of lead magnets over the years. And I can tell you the best lead magnet is something that's extremely actionable. So this one here, like this lead magnet that I give them, they can literally like see performance gains by using this. Like if they go through this, they can get results, right? And that's for free. They didn't have to pay for it. All they had to pay was with entering their email address, right? So there's no financial investment in this, and they can actually see performance gains, which is really awesome. And that's what you want. But from there, the way that this works is from this checklist, what happens is in the checklist, I am promoting one of my core offers, which is our software. So you can see here, it's right here in this section, rankability, right? So we're taking that free lead magnet and starting to promote another secondary offer that we have, okay? Now, going back to the original premise here, the Academy is the foundation of all of this, okay? And this is really important because I think, I know I have a lot of SaaS companies and people who work in SaaS companies that follow my stuff. And I can tell you, I've also led a lot of successful SaaS SEO campaigns. And I can tell you one of the biggest missing pieces, and the only reason I know this is because I started with an education background, a training background before I started SaaS. A lot of SaaS companies start with SaaS and then they should think about education after. So I did it in reverse. And so I have kind of a unique perspective on this. And I can tell you that having the Academy first is the single best decision for making rankability be successful. Okay. If I didn't have the Academy, there's no chance that we'd be able to be where we're at now with this, because right now within a year, we're getting close to 21,000 MRR right now in a year. Now, keep in mind, 40 to 50% of our users for rankability are Academy members. Okay. So if we didn't do that, that would mean 40 to 50% decrease in our MRR, right? Because those just would not exist. Okay. So it is so critical. And this is the kind of nuanced piece of this is I see a lot of SaaS companies, and maybe I'm helping some competitors here by saying this, but if you're just going to give free training and then try to promote your SaaS product, it's not going to work. It will work for a very small percentage of people, but if you really want it to work, create a paid training program. And the reason why that works so much better is because I have overwhelming evidence of this, that when people make an investment in education, they pay attention more. Okay. I've created tons of free training over the years. I've created tons of paid training over the years. The people who join paid training get better results. The people who do paid training actually do the work. The people who do free, you get what you pay for, right? And when you do free, you don't have that same level of respect for that training. Even it could be the best training on the planet, but because you got it for free, you don't view it as that valuable, that your perception changes. So it's really important that you have people go through paid training, because that's going to ensure that they're learning a system and your tool fits within that system, right? And that's the key. That's why people who go through Gotcha SEO Academy are also people, when they enroll into Rankability, they keep using Rankability indefinitely, because they know that Rankability is not, a lottery ticket. It's not something you join and all of a sudden your SEO gets better. It's just a tool that fits into the broader SEO system and broader SEO process. And so that's why education is so critical. Without education, you're just basically like, here's this weapon that you can use, and I'm not going to tell you how to use it really at all, right? And you could say, oh, well, we've got our knowledge base and we've got no one reads that stuff. No one reads knowledge bases, And so what you want to do is you want to have training where people can actually learn, and they have a financial commitment and an investment that will force them to want to actually learn. Okay, that's really, really critical. So that's the way it works for us. Academy members, a portion of Academy members go and sign up for Rankability. Okay, so what I've showed you so far, this is the makeup of what is called a value ladder. Okay, so we started with a high ticket program, built that first. ran with that for a really long time. Then we added a low ticket offer, just a book. Okay. Very simple book. Then we added a continuity offer. So this is a recurring, monthly recurring offer for rankability, right? That's the key to kind of getting that consistent revenue over time. And then the fourth thing that we added is a mastermind. Okay. This is something new that we have added where it's an in-person event. Okay. And that in-person event is only for Gotcha SEO Academy members. And it's not insanely high ticket. In fact, the Academy is a bigger investment. But what this does is help build closer relationships with our existing clients. Okay. And that's really important. And if this is like, business 101, it's much easier to sell to existing clients than it is to sell to new clients. So that's why building out these secondary offers is so critical. You can't just rely on one offer because you're literally like flushing money down the toilet. You're leaving money on the table because you're not selling more offers that can help your existing clients even more, right? And like I see this even in the context of our agency. I'm building an agency publicly right now, this 10x HVAC SEO agency. And this is a public case study and it's a real agency. So I'm doing it live just to show people. But like one of the things I see with HVAC companies, they do this really, really well. They start out as just an HVAC company. And as they start to capture more market share, then they do horizontal expansion. So instead of just being HVAC, now they're going to do plumbing. Then they're going to do duct work, right? And they're going to expand their offers because what that does is that gives them more opportunity to, grow the lifetime value of a single customer. Okay. And that's really, really important. So you should be thinking in that same context in your business. In the context of an SEO agency like us, we're focused on one vertical and one service. That is it. Now on the back end, we're selling other things, but on the front end, one vertical and one service. Over time, as we start to capture more HVAC companies and we start to do more, do SEO for a significant amount, and we've got, exclusivity across, many of the cities in the US, there might be an opportunity where now we're going to start to promote some of our paid search offers on the front end, maybe some of our conversion focused design offers on the front end, right? So we're doing that horizontal expansion of new services. Okay. And so what that allows us to do is to grow the lifetime value of a single client. Okay. That's really, really critical. So that should be the objective of any agency is over time, you start to expand, you start to grow the LTV of one account, one client. Because once again, it's much more expensive to acquire new clients than it is to keep your existing clients and sell more stuff and more offers to them. Okay. Just to be totally frank. So that's the way that it works for me. This is just on the YouTube front. And this is what it all looks like. It seems maybe quite simple on the surface, but this is incredibly effective. And there are other parts that are working together, but I want to show YouTube first because YouTube is hands down the most powerful. Of course, it will be dependent on the business model, but I think most businesses can certainly benefit from having a presence on YouTube. Okay. And the last thing I want to show you, like this is the other massive benefit. I'm just going to show you what this looks like. And I talked about this in other videos, but this particular query here, start an SEO agency. Okay. If I didn't have a YouTube presence, I would be missing out on massive amounts of real estate. So you've probably heard of the idea of like topic authority or topical authority. And totally valid idea, but usually that's really in the context of like your website, right? Like, so your website, you create a lot of content on a particular topic and that helps you build authority in the eyes of the algorithms. Okay. Totally valid concept. But the way I think about it more is like topic domination. And I want to think about how do I not just rank on my, rank with my website, but how do I rank, with all these other opportunities as well so I can capture as much SERP real estate as I possibly can. Okay. So what you're looking at here is I've got my YouTube video ranking in the AI overview. We've got an ad running specifically for this query. Okay. Then we've got my actual website ranking for this, and we'll keep going. We've also got 3 YouTube videos. We've got a LinkedIn post, okay? And then we've got the LinkedIn post here as well. So what you're seeing here is massive blanketing of the SERPs. And this is what I call topic domination. This is what you want to do. And I see too many people, what they do is they'll take one page like this on their website and they'll just, they'll focus all their effort. Okay, let's rank this one page. And that's fine. But just remember, you're leaving a lot of money on the table and a lot of clicks on the table by not tackling these other platforms. So focus on the platforms that Google has a preference for. Obviously, YouTube, because it owns it, that should be the next best place after you focus on your website. So you focus on your website, then go after YouTube and start to dominate there. Now, if we look on YouTube, let's see how I'm doing on that same query. Okay, so we'll take that same query and we'll run it on YouTube and we'll see how we're doing. Hopefully I'm there. Okay, so I'm there. I'm number 2. Looks like someone's ahead of me on that one. But you see, like I'm number 2, got another one here. You get the point. Another one here. So, and this doesn't consider all the browse features where these videos are just pop up from people who are naturally on YouTube. Okay, so that is what you want to do. You want to think about dominating not just Google and not just dominating your one website, but how many assets can we rank on the first page of Google? Like seriously, how many can you do? I think in this case, I could go even a step further and even start to do some parasite SEO and maybe get some other things ranking in here as well. But at a certain point, you can, there's a law of diminishing returns. So I certainly can, but I'm just saying, like, once you've really covered it, move on to the next one. But don't just create your one little page on your website and then move on to the next topic. Like, go crazy, make that investment in these topics. It will pay dividends. Okay. So just to quickly review, very simple. You want to map out each part of the value ladder and do it slowly. Add offers as you go. Okay. And so in the next couple of videos, I'll get more into some of these other channels that I focus on. Obviously, SEO, as you know, is the bulk of what I talk about on my channel, but I will cover this just to show you how it fits into this process and like how SEO fits into the 5 stages of customer awareness, which if you've watched my channel for a while, you've probably heard me talk about that, but I'll show you what it looks like in a practical environment. So if you like videos like this, you want me to kind of show you under the hood of what's going on in my business and maybe other people's business as well, drop a comment below with more, okay? Because as you know, 95% of my content is about SEO, but I've got some other stuff that I can share, no doubt. So if you want to see more content like this, just drop a comment below with more. And as always, thank you so much for watching and like the video and subscribe for more. Thanks.